Yo, what is going on, Raidernation? It's your boy Simone Raider back at it again with another video. Now, the Raiders 2021 free agency has started to slow down like Trent Brown after 2 minutes of walking. So I thought it would be a perfect time to start grading all of our pickups throughout this whole free agency. Now, going into free agency, we already knew that we had to bolster up this defense like a lot. And I believe we did. But I do believe that the best move that the Raiders have done so far was not actually in free agency. It was when we finally let go of Paul Guenther's candy ass from Las Vegas. But hopefully with the leftover money that we do have, that we address the secondary just a little bit more before we go into the NFL draft. But as of right now, let's grade all the free agent signings for the 2021 Raiders offseason.
And you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
So starting off free agency, the Raiders took their time on day one, but they ended up having a big splash on day one, ending it off by signing former Ravens defensive end Yannick Ngame to a 2-year, $26 million contract with $22 million guaranteed. Now, last season, Yannick was traded to the Vikings, then was traded to the Ravens before the deadline. But he still had a solid season in 2020 where he tallied 23 total tackles, 8 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 4 forced fumbles. Now, a fun fact, Yannick Ngame is one of 4 players since 1982 to begin his career with 5 consecutive 8+ sack seasons with a total of 45.5 sacks. Man, hopefully he keeps that up with the Raiders. But on top of that, he also has 18 forced fumbles, and ironically, that's only second behind Khalil Mack. Now, Yannick reunites with Gus Bradley in hopes to revive this Raiders defensive line, who struggled to get to the quarterback last season with only 21 sacks. This was a huge pickup for the Raiders in day one, especially getting him for a great price. Basically, we paid Yannick Ngame the same amount that Nelson Agholor got from the Patriots. And if I had to choose who I'd rather have, it obviously would be Yannick Ngame. Now, he has proven that no matter where you put him at, and no matter what team or the scheme, he will get the job done. My overall grade for Yannick Ngame is an A. Moving on, the Raiders addressed the offensive side of the ball, signing former Bills wide receiver John Brown to a 1-year, $3.75 million contract worth up to $5.5 million. Now, sources said that Brown's decision came down to the Raiders and the Texans, but let's be real, he wasn't going to go to the Texans. Brown ended up having a down year in 2020 due to injuries. He only played in 9 games where he tallied 33 receptions for 458 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in his career, he's put together 2 1,000-yard seasons, one with the Cardinals and the other with the Bills. Now, this is a solid, low-risk, high-reward type of signing for the Raiders. With Tyrell Williams and Nelson Agholor gone from the team, it was no surprise that Gruden and Mayock were in search for that veteran wide receiver. I can see Brown stepping into that Nelson Agholor role this season. He may not be our number 1 wide receiver, but he will find a solid role on this offense alongside of Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, and Hunter Renfrow. Let's just hope that this offense can pick up where they left off and get the ball rolling week 1. Now, overall, for his experience and the potential in our offense under Derek Carr, plus how cheap we paid him, my overall grade for John Brown is a B+. Now, here's where we get started with that defensive line. The Raiders went out and signed former 49ers defensive lineman Solomon Thomas to a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. Now, after having an up and down career so far, the former 3rd overall pick has found a new home in Las Vegas. Thomas has spent his whole career with the 49ers, tallying 83 total tackles, 6 sacks, and 23 QB hits. Now, you can say that he's never lived up to the hype, whether it was him or the scheme fit in the Bay, but he has a chance to revive his career in the silver and black. Thomas has recently said that he would definitely want to play inside as a defensive tackle, because that's where he made most of his impact at, and I believe that's where he'll most likely play under Gus Bradley's 4-3 scheme. Now, I know many fans will look at the $5 million and be disappointed, but the official numbers are less than that. There's incentives that go into it that bring it up to $5 million, so Raider Nation, just take a chill pill if you're worried about this. Now, Thomas is still only 25 years old and has a lot of upside. So if this move pans out for the Raiders, then it's a win-win situation. Considering his age and his upside plus the contract details, my overall grade for Solomon Thomas is a C+. I just feel like he just has to prove it on the field this season. I don't want to be too nice and give him a B, but I am excited to have Solomon Thomas donning the silver and black. The Raiders wasted no time time adding more depth to that defensive line, signing former Bills defensive tackle Quentin Jefferson to a 1-year, $3.25 million deal with $2 million guaranteed. Gus Bradley wasn't lying when he said that the defense starts up front, because right after signing Hankins and acquiring Solomon Thomas, they wasted no time signing defensive tackle Quentin Jefferson to help bolster up this defensive line. In his 5-year career, he's tallied 10.5 sacks and 35 QB hits. Jefferson provides some solid veteran depth on the defensive line. He's played under Gus Bradley before in Seattle, so he gets to reunite with him and wreak havoc to opposing offenses. Jefferson is a tough, physical player on the defensive side and will most likely be a rotational piece on our defensive line. We may not have signed the biggest names on defense, but we have added plenty of solid depth. My overall grade for Quentin Jefferson is a C+. Now we shift over to the offensive side of the ball again, signing former Cardinals running back Kenyon Drake to a 2-year, $11 million deal worth up to $14.5 million. This move came as a surprise to many people, especially knowing that we already have a star running back in Josh Jacobs already. But I do believe that John Gruden and the Raiders have a plan to utilize Drake in many ways, most likely in that Joker role that they claim to have for Kenyon Drake. Now this will be Drake's 3rd team in his career, first playing for the Miami Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals, now with the Las Vegas Raiders. But last season with the Cardinals, he tallied 1,092 all-purpose yards and 10 touchdowns. Drake is one of the more versatile backs in the league. He can both catch and run the ball. Gruden has already stated that they don't look at Drake as a backup running back. He will be used all over the field as a running back and as a wide receiver. They do believe that Drake has some untapped potential, so I can't wait to see how he fits in this offense. The Drake and Josh duo is one of the most underrated pairings in the NFL. I know many analysts question the signing by the Raiders, calling it one of the worst signings in this year's free agency, but the only way to shut them up is to go out there and ball out. Overall, I love this signing. It's another added weapon on the offense alongside Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, and Henry Ruggs. The only negative I would take away from this is that I feel like the Raiders could have gave him a little bit less, but my grade for bringing over Kenyon Drake to the dark side is an A-. Now with Rodney Hudson gone, the Raiders brought in some veteran presence at the center position, signing former Texans center Nick Martin to a 1-year, $1 million deal. Now Nick Martin has started 62 games for the Texans, and he is one of the more better pass blocking centers in the NFL, but he will have to compete for the starting job with Andre James. But the main thing I would give Martin over James is his experience. Now even if he doesn't start week 1, he does provide some much needed depth at the center position. Overall, I think it's a solid move, a solid signing by the Raiders. I mean, it didn't really make me happy nor mad. So my overall grade for Nick Martin would be a solid C for center.
What?
Moving on to the next signing, the Raiders signed former Ravens wide receiver Willie Snead to a 1-year, $1.1 million contract. Now this is the second receiver that the Raiders have added in free agency, and for a good price. Snead provides solid depth at the wide receiver position. If you guys get the theme here, most of these signings are depth pieces, which the Raiders really struggled with throughout the whole 2020 season. But getting back to Willie Snead, in 2020, he had a bit of a down year, only having 33 receptions for 432 yards and 3 touchdowns. Snead has mostly played in the slot, but is versatile enough to move to the outside. He actually went on record and said that he was attracted to our offense and feels like he would fit in perfectly. Now, Snead is a reliable wide receiver that will fight for those first downs like Hunter Renfrow. Overall, this is another solid signing for the Raiders, a low-risk, high-reward type of move that could help this offense. Derek Carr now has many different receiving weapons at his disposal, from Kenyon Drake, John Brown, Willie Snead, Henry Ruggs, and Darren Waller. My overall grade for Willie Snead is a B. Last but not least, the Raiders have went out and signed former Browns/Raiders safety Karl Joseph. Now, the numbers have not came out yet to his contract, but when they do, you know your boy will keep you guys updated. I'm honestly surprised that we actually brought the Hitman back to the silver and black. But again, I'm excited that he's back, if you guys get what I'm saying. Now, I never wanted to let go of Joseph, and he even said so himself that he never wanted to leave as well. With the glaring needs in the secondary, I'm surprised that it took the Raiders this long to finally address the position. Now, Joseph spent 1 year away from the nation playing for the Cleveland Browns in 2020, where he tallied 66 total tackles, 4 pass deflections, and 1 interception. This is another depth signing for the Raiders. Karl Joseph is known as the hitman, not much of a single high safety in coverage, which the Raiders do desperately need. He'll most likely back up Jonathan Abram at the strong safety position. Joseph definitely feels a need for a veteran safety on the defense, but I do feel like we will still address the safety position in the upcoming draft. I am curious to see how Gus Bradley will utilize Joseph on our defense. I mean, it can't be any worse than what Paul Gunther was scheming up back in the days. Overall, I'm a little bit biased because I really did like this move, having the Hitman back in black, plus we finally addressed the secondary. So if I had to give this a grade, I would give it a B. Woo! Now, after grading each and every one of these players, I feel like there was a running theme with most of these signings. I feel like the Raiders were really trying to sign a lot of depth at most of the positions. Now, if I had to pick, a big signing on the offensive side and on the defensive side, it would have to be Kenyon Drake and Yannick Ngame. Now, I was scrambling all of my grades, and I came to the conclusion that I would give our whole free agency class a letter grade of a solid B. So Raider Nation, what do you guys think? What grade would you guys give the Raiders for this 2021 offseason? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today on this video. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button. I'm planning on doing a mock draft pretty soon, sometime this week or maybe next week, who knows. But if you guys don't want to miss out on that, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this one. If you guys want to help support this channel in a great way, then become an exclusive member by hitting that join button down below. Until the next video, Raider Nation, this is your boy Simone Raider, and your boy is, yeah!